These are the following steps or the steps that we have to remember when it comes to factoring GCF. Number one, we have to find the GCMF. At paano nga ulit natin mahahanap yung common monomial factor na yon? So una, for the variables or coefficients, hanapin natin kung alin yung kanilang greatest common factor. Next, find the variable with the least exponent in each term of the binomial. So yung ginawa natin kanina sa variables or letters, na hahanapin natin kung alin yung common at hahanapin natin yung pinakamaliit na exponent ng common na yon. Then, we have to combine the GCF for the coefficients and the variable. Second step is to divide the polynomial by its GCMF. So, dito na papasok yung inverse of multiplication. We have to divide out the GCMF in each term of the polynomial. Then, number 3, we have to write it in factored form. So, paano natin isusulat into factored form? GCMF followed by the quotient or the other factor. So, these 3 steps, i-apply natin yan sa mga examples. And let us have our first example. 15x squared plus 10xy. Step 1. Find the GCMF ng ating constants. Find the GCF of the coefficient. So, yung coefficients po natin ay yung constants, 15 and 10. Ano ang greatest number that we can divide out of 15 and 10? And that is no other than 5. So, the GCF for the constants, 15 and 10, or coefficients, is 5. Next, find the common variable with the least exponent in each term of the polynomial. So, sa variables naman tayo, we have x squared and x and y. Alin lang ang common sa kanila? Okay, ang common sa kanila ay x only. Wala kasing y itong ating first term. So, common variable is x. Next is, alin ngayon ang may least exponent? So, tandaan, this is 2, or the exponent for x squared is 2, the exponent for x, the invisible, 1. So, kaya, ang ating GCF for the variables is x. So, the variable with the least exponent is x, or the GCF is x. Now, we have to combine those two. So, the GCMF for 15x squared and 10xy is 5x. Okay? 5x. Now, for step number 2, ito na papasok yung factoring. Divide the polynomial by its GCMF. So, magdi-divide na tayo. The first term and the second term, i-divide out natin yung ating GCMF na 5x. So, divide natin. 15 divided by 5. So, 15 or 15 divided by 5 is 3. And 5 divided by 5 is 1. We have x squared and x. X squared divided by x is x. And then x divided by x is 1. Now, 3 times x is 3x. And then 1 times 1 is 1. So, that will be our first term. 3x divided by 1 is 3x. Okay? Next, for the second term of the binomial, 10 divided by 5. So, cancel natin. We have 2 and 1. X divided by x. So, both of them will become 1. Now, we have to multiply 2 times 1 times y. Again, that is positive or plus. Positive 2 times 1 times y is positive 2y. And then, 1 times 1 on the denominator, we have 1. 2y divided by 1 is 2y. So, the quotient or the quotient here in our step number 2 is 3x plus 2y. Okay? Then, let us have step number 3, write in factored form. The first is the, what do you call this? Okay? GCMF, and then the other one or the other factor is 3x plus 2y. So, yan yung quotient natin kanina. Now, this will be the factored form for our example number 1. 15x squared plus 10xy when factored is equals to 5x times the sum of 3x plus 2y. Okay? Okay ba tayo dyan? Next. So, let us have example number 2. 24a squared plus 16a. So, this is an example of a binomial. That means a um, polynomial having two terms. So how are we going to factor out? It's GCMF. So we have the step number 1, find the GCMF. And under this step, meron tayong 3 process na kailangan sundin. And that the first one is to find the GCF of the coefficients. So when we say coefficients, yun po yung constants. So we have 24 and 16. Here is the process or the method in which we are listing the prime factors. We have 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 is equals to 24. Then we have for 16, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. At ang common sa kanila ay 2 times 2 times 2 equals to 8. So, meron naman po tayong another method, di po ba? That is, we are going to think of a number or the greatest number that we can divide out on these two constants, 24 and 16. So, kung kaya naman natin na mag-isip agad ng number na pwedeng ipang-divide sa 24 at sa 16 and that is the greatest number, so wala naman pong problema. Hindi na natin kailangan gawin yung prime factorization. So for the coefficients or constants, the GCF is 8. And for the variables, so una, hanapin mo natin yung common. Alin nga ba yung common? We have a squared and a. So ang common sa kanila is a. At alin ang may least exponent? So, again, for a squared, ang kanyang exponent is 2. And then for a, ang exponent niya ay yung invisible 1. So, alin ang may least exponent? That is a. A is the variable with the least exponent. Now, these two GCF should be combined. And the GCMF for this binomial is now 8a. Okay, that is for step number 1. Hanapin ang GCMF. For step 2, we have to divide the polynomial by its GCMF. Kailangan nating i-divide na ang ating binomial by its GCMF. 24 divided by 8, that is 3. 8 divided by 8 is 1. Okay? A squared divided by A. So, that will be A. And then A divided by A is equals to 1. Now, we have to multiply 3 times A, that is 3A. 1 times 1, that is 1. Simplify this 3A divided by 1, that is equals to 3A. Next, the other term, 16A. 16A divided by 8A. So, sa coefficients, when we divide 16 by 8, the answer is 2. And then 8 divided by 8 is 1. And then A divided by A is also 1. So, ayan. 2 times 1, that is positive. So, positive 2. And then 1 times 1 is equals to 1. Then we have to simplify this 2 divided by 1. The answer is positive 2. So, here is our GCMF, 8A. And then yung 3A plus 2, yung ating quotient. At yan yung kakailanganin natin sa step number 3 wherein we are going to write it in a factored form. So, 8A times the quantity of 3A plus 2. So, yung GCMF natin ay yung 8A at yung quotient natin kanina ay yung 3A plus 2. So, this is our factored form for the given example number 2, which is 24A squared plus 16A. So, they are equal. This is the factored form and then this is our given. Another example, example number 3. Let us factor this trinomial. We have here 12m to the 6th power n to the 8th power plus 15m cubed n to the 5th power minus 18m squared n to the 6th power. Ang dami, di ba? Parang ang hirap. Pero madali lang yan. We have to follow the steps, find the GCMF. So, start tayo sa coefficients or yung constants natin. 12, 15, and 18. Again, pwede tayong mag-listing method ng prime factors. Ito yung pinaka-safe pero medyo matagal. Alin ang common sa kanila? Common lang sa kanila ay 3. So that is our GCF for the coefficients or constants. Again, pwede pong hindi tayo mag-listing method kung kaya nating isipin kung ano nga ba ang greatest number that we can divide out in our coefficients. Another step for finding the GCMF is to find the common variable with the least exponent. Common muna. Alin ba ang common sa kanila? Lahat ba sila may M? Okay. Lahat ba sila may N? Yes. So, common variables nila ang M and N. Now, we have to look for the least exponent of the variable M. So, meron tayong ditong 6, 3, and 2. Alin ang pinakamaliit na exponent? That is 2 or yung squared. So, for M, for the variable M, our GCF is M squared. And then for our variable n, we have n to the 8th, n to the 5th, n to the 6th. Alin ang pinakamaliit na exponent? That is n to the 5th power. So that will be our GCF for n. When we combine that, two variables, our GCF for the variable will be m squared n to the 5th power. And then, under step 1 in finding the GCF, yung ating pang third process dyan is to combine the coefficients and the uh, variable or the GCMF of the coefficient and variable. So, this is our GCMF, 3m squared n to the 5th power. Now, let's go to our next step, which is the most complicated step. Kasi pag nagkamali tayo dito, ay mali na rin tayo sa ating magiging final answer. So, we have to divide the polynomial or the trinomial by our GCMF. So, let's start with the first term. 12 divided by 3, that is 4. And then 3 divided by 3 is 1. M to the 6th power divided by m squared. So, 6 minus 2. So, we are going to subtract the exponents. Ganun po yung ating ginagawa pag nagdi-divide tayo ng variables. So, m to the 4th power ang magiging sagot natin. Now, n to the 8th power and then n to the 5th power. So, 8 minus 5, that is 3. So, our quotient here is n cubed. N cubed. And then we have 1 here in our denominator. So, multiply 4 by m to the 4th and n cubed. The answer is 4m to the 4th n cubed divided by 1. So, rewrite that. We will have an answer of 4m to the 4th n cubed only. Now, punta tayo sa second term. 15 divided by 3. The answer is 5. M cubed divided by m squared. So, ilan pa ang matitira? Meron tayong m to the first power or simply m. And then n to the fifth divided by n to the fifth. So, the answer is 1 only. Okay? So, multiply 5 times m times 1. That is 5m. And 1 times 1 times 1, that is 1. So, 5m divided by 1, the answer is 5m. Next, third term. 18 divided by 3. So, huwag kalimutan, may negative tayo doon or yung minus na yon. Consider muna natin siya as sign ni 18. So, 18 divided by 3, that is 6. So, ayan, negative 6. Kasama na natin yan dito ha. So, yan, 3 divided by 3 is 1. Next, m squared divided by m squared. So, 2 minus 2 is 0. So, ang sagot natin dito is only 1. Ayan, m squared is 1, m squared is 1. Then, next is n to the 6th power and n to the 5th power. So, 6 minus 5 is 1, kaya meron pa tayong isang natirang n. N, and then this 1 into the 5th divided by n to the 5th is also 1. Now, multiply negative 6 times 1 times n. The answer is negative 6n. Divided by 1, that is negative 6n only. So, tingnan natin. Ang ating GCMF ay 3m squared n to the 5th. And then, ang quotient natin is 4m to the 4th n cubed plus 5m minus 6n. So, on our step number 3, we are going to combine our GCMF and the quotient. So, yan na yung ating final answer sa pag-factor ng ating greatest common factor in the given trinomial. Okay? So, let us have example number 4. So, we have 3y cubed minus 9y squared plus 6y. And let us follow the 3 steps that we have in factoring GCMF. So, step number 1, we have to find the GCF. At umpisahan natin yan sa coefficients. We have 3, we have 9, and we also have 6. Ano nga ba ang pinakamalaking number that we can divide out in these 3 coefficients? So, walang iba kundi we have, okay, 3. Then, when it comes to variables naman, we have y cubed, y squared, and y. Anong may pinakamaliit na exponent? That is y. Next, pwede natin yung idiretso dito. 3 divided by 3, that is 1. Y cubed divided by y, we have y squared. Next, negative 9 divided by positive 3, so we have negative 3. Y squared divided by y, we have y. And then, third term, positive 6 divided by positive 3, that is positive 2. And then y divided by y, that is positive 1. So, ayan. Pwede pa natin yang ayusin. Simplify. We have 3y. Again, 1 times y squared, that is y squared. And then we have negative 3y on the middle term. And then on the last term, positive 2 times 1, that is positive 2. So, this will be our final answer. For example, number 4, sorry. 3y multiply to the quantity of y squared minus 3y plus 2. Okay? So, kaya naman pala nating paikliin yung steps or paikliin yung solution. Yun nga lang, mas maganda ay mas malinaw pa rin sa inyo kung paano nakuha ang ating sagot. For our last example, we have this trinomial, negative 36p cubed, q to the 4th, positive 60, p squared, q to the 5th, and negative 48, p to the 6th, q to the 6th power. So, first step natin is to find the GCMF. And let's start with the constants or the coefficients. Negative 36, positive 60, and negative 48. So, what is the greatest number that we can divide out of these 3 coefficients? So, that's no other than negative 12. And then, when it comes to variables, pareho silang may P, lahat sila may P, lahat sila may Q, kaya lang hanapin natin yung may least exponent. For P, alin ang ating least exponent? So, we have the invisible one or P only. And then for Q, we have to the 4th power, to the 5th power, to the 6th power. So, pinaka-least exponent natin ay to the 4th power. Now, we have to divide this the GCMF to our trinomial, negative 36 divided by negative 12, that is positive 3. And then P cubed divided by P, we have P squared. Q to the 4th divided by Q, that Q to the 4th is 1. And when we multiply 3p squared to 1, the answer is still 3p squared. Okay? Next, positive 60 divided by negative 12, that is negative 5. And then p squared divided by p, that is p. Q to the fifth divided by q to the fourth. So, 5 minus 4, may matitirang isa pang q. Okay? Next, negative 48 divided by negative 12, that is positive 4. P divided by P, so wala na, canceled out na si P. Move tayo sa Q to the 6th and Q to the 4th. 6 minus 4, that is 2. So we have Q squared. And this will be our final answer for example number 5. This is our final answer. Negative 12p to the pq to the fourth power quantity of 3p squared minus 5pq plus 4q squared. Okay? So that's all for today. So I hope may natutunan po kayo sa ating video about greatest common monomial factor. And this is just the first video. There will be another video to be uploaded for the other factoring techniques. So stay tuned.